Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Kirkland KaY, RunnA Llewellyn. I'm here with my boy, you know who, and we're here for another segment of
Peace of Wellness, y'all. Listen, make sure you guys go and follow us on our YouTube channel, Leave Your Mark on the World. Also follow us on our Instagram, it's Dreamer_Society1. And if you want to check out some of the, cool quotes and, positive stuff that we kind of put up in our community, you can also check out our community on Facebook. It's Christopher Marc, the Collective Institute Facebook group. So you can go check us out there as well. And you can follow us on the Christopher Marc page on the Facebook as well. All right, so.
what he said.
Yeah, that was a lot. I know. That, you know what I mean? So.
I told him before this video started, I'm like, you're going to have to say all that because I know I'm going to forget something in there somewhere. Like, I'm going to forget an underscore or like a slash or something. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Next thing we sending followers are, Rodney Jones or something. You know what I mean? Yo, man, all of a sudden, man, I knew like social media was about something because I got all these followers for no reason. It was like, follow Rodney Jones _1. And I was just like, yo. But anyway, y'all, listen, we got another episode of Peace of Wellness for you guys today. So I hope you guys enjoy. So tell me, man, what we got? What we got for today?
All right, so the topic for today is, what type of arguing is therapeutic?
Oh my God. All right, so arguing is really it's tricky. It's a little tricky, you know what I mean? Because it's like,
it's an art to it.
It's really an art to it. You got to know how to argue. Like, say for example, if you're in a relationship, right? And you know that you stuck with this person, you have to argue in a way where it's like, I hate you because you're beautiful. You got to mix stuff up in there, like, you know what I mean? So when you go back and but then you be like, but I hate because sometimes you look ugly when you wake up in the morning. Like when you get gritty with your arguing skills, you gotta blend stuff in there. So when you go back to talking about it and laughing about it, I can't believe you said that to me, yada, 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 yada. Now you got stuff to kind of cushion the blow so your relationship is not over or your friendship. You know what I mean? It's okay to say whatever you want. It's just you got to throw some things in there. You know what I mean? Like me and Kurt, we've had tons of arguments, and in between the arguments, it's really stupid. But I'm gonna tell you, it's what he was saying. He'll be like, yeah, man, I hate you. You lucky you a good person. You lucky you a good person with a good heart and good vision and good. You know what I mean? I'm like, am I being uplifted or put down? What's going on?
Yeah, because listen, man, it be those moments where it's like you hate the person, but you know you can't hate them all the way. Like, listen, I've had a lot of friends. Well, not a lot of friends, but I've had a decent amount where it's like, when I hated them, I hated them. But there was nothing good that I could say to balance it out. With him, it's like, he actually does good stuff. So it's like, I have to balance it out. I'm like, all right, I can't all the way kill him in this conversation. You know what I mean? Because then it's like, he'll think that I just don't care. It's like, no, I noticed that you do good stuff. And that's what saves you. Like,
But that is the therapeutic of arguing. Y'all, listen. Now, let me ask you a question. Like, in your relationships, right? Like, when you would argue with your girl, right? Like, how bad would it go? Are you like the type of arguing person where it's like, do you want to argue inside or outside? Which one would you rather?
I knew you was going to ask me this question. I'm just going to let the audience know at this point. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. No matter how much I try to balance out the arguing in my relationships, I guess I'm just so toxic, or the girls I'm dealing with are so toxic, or maybe it's just both. It goes horribly wrong. Like, if we're going to argue, I prefer that we argue at home. If I want to argue at home, though, they'll want to do it outside.
That's rough.
Like, I notice that people do the opposite of the stuff that, that I want to do. So, like, and my thing is, most of the time, I prefer not to argue. So, it's like, you know what I mean? I'll try to de-escalate it or whatever, but it's like, You know what I mean? It's just horrible. So it's like what I noticed in my situation was that just arguing, is therapeutic because the real feelings come out. Because what I noticed is that if I try to be good about it and like try to be like, diplomatic and this, that, and third, the more irate they become. If I'm irate, they try to be diplomatic. So it's better if somebody is just going all out.
Yeah, I think
at least in my situations.
No, I agree. I agree with you on that. I think that, I don't like arguing, right? So, for me it's kind of like if I'm going to argue, if you're kind of like the type of person you're going to bring the fight to me, you're going to lose. You're going to lose either way, but you're going to lose in a way where it's like, because I'm not going to the type of person who really want to start a fight. Not to really be like, it has to be something where it's like, okay, you said something to me that just triggered it. And it just like, I'm like, you know what I mean? Other than that, I would rather things be kind of peaceful. But I've had moments where it's like, I was in a relationship where the girl was like, she wanted to argue, and I was like, listen, I don't want to do this. I don't want to argue with you, you know what I mean? But
I don't want to destroy you.
I don't want to destroy you. I don't, because I know how my stuff is. It's like, I know that like if I'm arguing with you, I'm gonna get real specific. I'm gonna just get real specific with you, cause I don't got time like that. I ain't yelling, I ain't screaming.
I don't know what it is, and you know what? Shout out to any of the girls I used to talk to. Shout out to the future girls I'm gonna talk to, and shout out to whoever might like me right now. I hate all y'all. I hate all y'all.
But you know what? That's real love, though, because if you love a girl, girls don't really want you to love them. What they really want you to do is they want you to be like, to see how ugly they are. Because that's why they get all dressed up. They get all dressed up and put on makeup and everything like that to lie, right? And then when they get behind the scenes, they want you to see how insane they are. Like you see this face, see that face? That's the face that they want you to see. And that's what they really want you to know. Like, I want you to know how ugly I am.
The girls that I have dealt with, they are about as ugly as the Japanese warrior masks. The ones where it's like the tongue is hanging all out. It's like, it's like the eyes all wide. It looks like a straight up demon. That's how bad they stuff is. The reason, look, let me say why I hate y'all. All right. I don't know what it is about me, but no one ever actually fully listens to what I have to say. So what happens is that when I get specific, because I want to point that out. You said you get specific. I do too, my brother. But here's the thing. Because they only listen to half, I get specific, and then they think I'm lying or something, right? Because they're like, you ain't never say that. And I was like, then I have to start pulling out receipts. Once I pull out receipts, right, they realize they was wrong. But instead of being a woman enough, you know what I mean, to own up to the fact that they was wrong, they start pointing at other stuff. Oh, well, you still did this. If you didn't do this, it wouldn't have led to that. Then I got to pull out more receipts. And then the more specific I am, the more childish they become. And then even after the argument, they never apologize. They just expect for everything to go back to normal after they didn't cuss me out. I'm all kinds of N words, and I'll be honest with you, it don't matter what color they be. I already know it. I already know for the future girls that aren't black that I'm gonna deal with, whoever you might be, because I'm gonna end up dealing with a bunch. I already know that because I know that most of my relationships don't work out. It's sad, but like I said, I know the truth. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah, I think there's one thing that I think that in my arguments, this is what happens because I'm a friend of mine's, used to say to me, he said, I'm politically correct. Mm-hmm. And it's only in the moments where they be like, oh man, you seem so sophisticated and you deal with things in business and you're very intelligent and you're very calm and you're very this and you're very that. And I think, it's like, okay, you just seem real chill. So you're not going to get angry at me. I'm going to come at you. We're going to go. And I be thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, but What you don't know is that I grew up in North Philly. What you don't know is that like I really literally went around a corner and walked over a dead body. What you don't know is that like,
they don't see those things. They don't think about them.
They don't think about it. It's like I am black.
They see the Kool-Aid man. That's what they see when they see the Kool-Aid man.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
They don't know the truth.
Yeah, it's like, listen, man, it's like the Kool-Aid man. Listen, you know, you looking at the Kool-Aid and you like, oh my God, look at this blueberry, raspberry, this, that, and the third. Oh, again, can't wait to have some. But what you don't understand is that in every bottle of Kool-Aid, I'm talking hood Kool-Aid. I'm not talking the stuff you buy at the store. That's whack. But the cool Kool-Aid comes straight with diabetes. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what I am. I want y'all to understand that. I want y'all to understand that. There's a side of me that's just, sophisticated, handle business, get things done, get things done. But then there's a part of me that I just want y'all to know that there's just a blackness in me. You understand what I'm saying?
There's a blackness.
There's a Good Times. There's a Sanford and Son. There's a Jefferson's, there's Rock, there is 227, there is just old school blackness in me. Now, don't get me wrong, there's different types of it, but I'm more like, listen, if you want to go, we'll go. But just know I'm not going to stop once I go. I will keep this joint going until you're just like, all right, forget it, I'm done. I'm done. Now, only time I will back down is if I know at the end of the day I'm at a, life or death phase. That's the only time I'll back down. Because I've had those moments too where I just felt like I was coming out of my body and I was angry at somebody and I was just like, nah, I don't feel like going to jail. I don't feel like going to jail. So these are
Those are the crucial moments. Those are the crucial moments
because you gotta know the parts of you that's gonna be like, okay. And when you argue, another thing about arguing is this. If you know you crazy, stay in a certain vicinity. So like if you're gonna argue, it's okay to get loud, get rah-rah. Just stay away from the person. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? You don't want to argue and then like girls, shout out for the hood girls out there. When y'all be doing that pointing stuff, all right, in your face type stuff, y'all can't do that. Y'all can't do that. Like y'all can't do that. Now, you know what I mean? Now I understand if you with a dude that's supposed to like, who loves you, he'll probably be like, calm you down and restrain you a little bit. But you have to understand y'all can't be doing Y'all can't be doing all that. You understand what I'm saying? So that's another thing. Make sure you stay in your vicinity. Like stay away from the person. If you're gonna say what you need to say, if you're gonna get rah-rah, it's all good. Just stay there in that vicinity. Don't get close. Stay away. Put my hands up so y'all see it. Yeah.
What, Wu-Tang?
Well, that was the vicinity thing. That was them staying away. I mean, I know this is like, I'm not no crossing guard or nothing, but I'm just saying, but that's just what it is. Yeah, just stay away, man. Just stay away. Like I would say, if you're going to argue, mix some kindness in there. You lucky I love you. You lucky. Like say that, mix that in there a little bit. Is there any other suggestions you would say as far as, the art of arguing? Is there anything else that you should probably know? Rule book of arguing?
I would just say, if you're going to argue, just make sure you wear your armor. Because there's going to be some things that's going to hurt. Some things that person, they're just going to say some stuff and just armor yourself up. Because trust me, some of them bullets, they're going to hurt. And they're going to pierce through the armor. Yeah. I mean, you thinking that bulletproof vest going to do something for you, and next thing you know, it went right through, and now your pancreas is gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now, a lot of times people have this thing where they say, oh, I don't believe in, arguing. Okay, well, let me tell y'all something.
Ooh, no, before you even say something, y'all are the worst people. Y'all are the worst people because y'all relationships fall apart so badly.
Well, y'all cheaters. This is the reason why. If you don't argue, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Shout out to all the people who don't argue. Y'all gonna cheat. Because let me tell you what happens when you don't argue, right? You're not committing yourself to fighting for the relationship itself. So when you stop arguing and you start saying, I'm not type of argue, I'm just going to go ahead and deal with Rodney down the street. It's like, okay, but you have to understand that, what you just did is actually worse than actually just talking about how you felt. Okay. Yeah. So for people who don't argue, I think that y'all need to understand that, now I don't think you should argue. Like if you go throughout, like, this is another thing too. You should probably argue at a minimum. You shouldn't be arguing like 10 times a year. Y'all should at least be, you understand what I'm saying?
10 times a year. That's not, yeah, somebody's cheating somewhere if it's only 10 times a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
I'd say a real good argument, at least, at the least, once every like 3 weeks. A good argument, though. I'm talking like a strong one.
A strong one. Man, I was trying to keep the numbers a little low.
All right, once a month.
Yeah, I was trying once a month. God.
I'm sorry, man. I've been through war. I've been through war.
All right, you know what? It depends on the type of relationships you're in. Okay, if you're at a place where it's like, I would say, you know what? All right, you basing this off if you love them, right?
If you love them, that's the kind of stuff you
go
through now.
If you love them, once a month is actually realistic. Once a month is realistic because that's 12 times a year. That's pretty realistic.
That's realistic. Like one strong one a month. That's realistic because you love each other and you're actually dealing with each other on grown-up terms. I'm not talking about like little kid, like puppy love, like y'all don't have no bills or y'all not with each other or like, you know what I mean? Or I'm not gonna say puppy love. Like even if you've been with someone for a few years, it's like things do get real to a point where it's like you're gonna argue more. But it's like, that's what I'm saying though. It's like you're in that deep in love thing, you're gonna have an argument at least once a month, like at least a real one. Because like, who knows what goes on in that month, especially if y'all live together. That's when it really comes out. Yeah,
like I grew up with my grandfather and my grandmother arguing all the time. All the time. He used to call her a dog-faced monkey. He used to say, like, he used to say all types of stuff to her, man. And I would be like, oh my God, like, I would be like, I can't believe you said that to her, And I was just like,
dog-faced monkey.
And what I realized is that, but it was this moment, right, where she had to go to the hospital. They was in the hospital and they were talking. And I realized that in that moment when they were talking, that they were actually friends. And, another thing I will say to you is that, if you're a person where y'all argue, you have to understand there's always a positive and negative version of that. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not like sometimes you might argue, but it might be in a way where it's like you're joking. You understand what I'm saying? And the more you're in the relationship, the more y'all have just been together for years, you're going to get to a place where you just feel comfortable about sharing how you feel about something. But do I think there's an appropriate way to go about it? Yeah, like, just say, hey, listen, this is going to be a moment where we just going to air everything out. So that way after this, we can go get some pizza and chill. Because if you don't air it out, I'm going to tell you right now, your relationship is going down. Your relationship is going down. For anybody who's out there being like, oh, I don't believe in arguing, I grew up with my family arguing, all like that. There's a positive way of going about it. And then there's a negative way. The positive way is, hey, look, man, I think we need to talk about this. The negative way is you throwing the person through the window. So the thing you just have to understand the differences between, you know, so if you saw your dad going through the window, you and your mom throwing your dad through the window, that's not what arguing is. That's called violence. That's called call the cops. That's called like, you know, something is really wrong. That's not love, okay? It's not love, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever y'all grew up, like if you grew up with your mom choking your dad with the cable cords and stuff like that, that's not love, okay? I want y'all to understand that. We're talking about positive love, positive ways of arguing, positive ways of expression, so that way you can have a positive relationship. Because the more transparent you are, the closer you'll be. If the less transparent you are, you know, now you're hiding things, and now, you know, it makes the relationship harder. And it's okay at the end of the day if if in the beginning of any relationship you don't trust the person. Because I mean, hey, me and him, we didn't trust each other when we first met. But because of our honesty with each other and then committing to what we said, that is really what helped to develop, you know, either a good friendship, or even if you're in a relationship with a girl, or guy, whoever you're with, is developing, you know, the honesty with it. Because you're not going to trust each other, because really, honestly, you're just foreign to each other. Some people have the connection, some people don't. Sometimes it takes work, but you got to understand, you know, be open, be transparent, have positive, you know, ways of going about it, and, you know, just respect each other. That's all. You know, there's a way of going about it that's healthy. Because if you want to maintain something, I mean, my grandparents, they were together for, like 50 years or something like that before my grandmother passed. Yeah. So it's like, it probably was more than that, I mean, honest with you, but it's like, you know, they traveled the world, they did a lot of things. And, you know, even though they argue like every day, you also knew that he loved her and she loved him, you know, and it was real. You know, no relationship's perfect, you know what I mean? So next time we'll talk about why people cheat. So,
before we go, I do want to set the record straight on something, because I know this is like the second time I've said it on the pod. But like, listen, for anybody that I end up dating later on in life, I'm not inviting to be called the N-word, because like I said, I'm a diverse person. I talk to many different people with different walks of life. But I know that for some reason or another, there's a level of anger that comes out, that I pull out, I should say, from people.
Yeah, he does.
So it's like, I'm not accepting, because I hate that word, but I've also accepted that word's not going anywhere. It's in pop culture, as well as we talked about it last Wednesday on Question Mark. Mm-hmm. But it's like, it's a word that's been popularized in pop culture, and I'm not gonna lie to you, there's just a lot of people that low key say the word, you know, when they're not around black people, and you probably feel that way. But it's like, I know that just how people interact with me when they argue. They end up pulling it out. So for any women that I might end up dating, you know, who's not black, just be prepared to surprise yourself, because you're probably going to say it. I hope you don't, because I don't condone it. But if you do, World War III will be a thing.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too, you just have to be okay with, you know, us calling you names too. You know, it doesn't mean that, you know, doesn't mean we don't love you. Doesn't mean we don't love you. You Chinese, Italian, you Spanish, you whatever. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that we don't love you. You know, because, you know, obviously,
because you're there.
Yeah, and understand this too. Okay. Oh, all we do is argue. No, you talk. Let me explain something to y'all. When a guy is not talking to you, or he's not fighting with you, or he's not standing in front of you, he's not with you anymore. So you have to understand that. So you have to. That's a real thing. So I want y'all to understand that, like, you know, oh well, he doesn't care about me. Listen, if he didn't care, he wouldn't be here. If he didn't care, he wouldn't be here. Now, like I said, the next episode I want to really talk about why people cheat, and you know, and how to deal with the relationships, you know, because some people, you know, they have open relationships, they have just all types of other stuff where they try to balance that stuff out. And so I want to help you to understand how to go about it in the most productive way, depending on what you want for yourself and the pros and cons of different types of relationships for that. So next time we'll talk about that on A Piece of Wellness. But listen, I love you guys. I really appreciate you watching the show and watching the podcast, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.
Peace.